When the strike was on, it drove us miners out of doors, out from the houses that the company owned. We moved into tents up at old Ludlow.
In the 19th and 20th centuries, Colorado was home to thousands of immigrants seeking a better way of life. As miners and railroad operators, taming the American Southwest, these workers took incredible risks to form unions. Their struggles led to federal child labor laws and an 8-hour workday. And their victories built a strong middle class in Colorado. But in recent decades, that proud heritage became a memory.
When I first moved here, all the asphalt companies, concrete companies, sand and gravel companies were all union jobs and with benefits and pensions. They took their money, their profits, and they bought non-union outfits, and they started putting all their profits into the non-union companies.
In the 1980s, the economy in Colorado collapsed, and thousands of union employees lost their jobs. Corporations and right-wing politicians took advantage of labor's waning strength. After Coors Brewing Company famously broke their staff union in '78, others quickly followed Coors' lead.
That started to dominate Colorado politics in the late 80s and 90s, and they started attacking things that were near and dear to working families. So the Taxpayer Bill of Rights, TABOR, that to this day puts a stranglehold on public education and health care and other public services that working families depend on. They passed Amendment 2, which at that time was the most radical anti-gay amendment in the entire country.
Building owners took advantage of Denver's struggling real estate market during the 80s recession by busting unions. Janitors like Monica Martinez had to work several jobs to make ends meet.
En primer lugar era solamente un part-time, un tiempo de 4 horas. Eso no cubría ni servicio médico, no vacaciones, no días de enfermedad, no días de aniversario.
People would clean the equivalent of 12 private homes every night for $4.75 an hour.
Veíamos la injusticia que existía en esa época, la forma de dirigirnos, la forma de mando de los patrones. Fue cuando eso nos hizo motivarnos y trabajar muy duro para lograr lo que queríamos, el respeto y la dignidad.
Monica and her co-workers took on their bosses in the first battle of the National Justice for Janitors campaigns, a 15-year movement that would bring hundreds of thousands of janitors out of poverty.
It was truly grassroots. These were janitors. They found a couple of organizers to help them. One of those organizers had actually worked with the farm workers, and so there was some of that vivid imagery, strong red and black, graphics, a lot of drama.
The janitors sparked a movement of young electrical workers, CWA members, faith leaders, and others across the city. Over 150 people were arrested standing up for the rights of janitors and low-wage workers.
Other labor organizations like the Denver Newspaper Guild and the communications workers, organizations like Jobs with Justice, and the Colorado Council of Churches and other faith leaders who stood by the janitors in their struggle to win better conditions on the job.
To give them something vaguely approximating a living wage was going to add, I think it was 16 cents a square foot to the cost. So I called up some of these wealthy real estate developers who own these large buildings and said, listen, you guys are going to get into a terrible fight. If we can get 2 or 3 of the buildings to come along, I think others will follow. And luckily they said yes.
After sustained community and political pressure, fueled by the will to do whatever it takes, Denver janitors won the right to negotiate with their employer. The janitor campaign set the stage for a broader fight for working families in Colorado.
¿Cómo me siento después de ver a mis compañeros temerosos y abusados sentarse en la próxima semana frente a una mesa de negociaciones?
How do I feel watching my coworkers who are abused and fearful now next week sitting in front of their bosses at a negotiating table?
Me siento muy bien.
Después de la campaña tan fuerte de justicia por janitors, sabíamos a partir de ese momento que lo que lucháramos lo íbamos a lograr.
We were able to win in one contract the best raises anybody had ever seen. We won full-time jobs for the first time ever in the industry, and we won health insurance. So it was just incredibly inspiring, and people just felt like if janitors can win this, what else can we accomplish?